Hi, welcome back. So we are still working on dilations. Day 4 of Unit 8, we talked about that they are not isometries. They do not preserve the size. When we're having a scale factor and we are dilating about the origin, all we have to do is multiply our x and y values by that scale factor, and that will find us our new images. And notice when you have a scale factor larger than 1, you're going to grow bigger and you're going to move away from the origin by a factor of 2, or whatever that scale factor is. And then you will reduce if you have a scale factor less than 1. Here's an example of that. And notice my whole image moved closer to my center of dilation, my origin. Then we talked about what happens if the center of dilation is not the origin, and we just moved, we found that center, and we still moved, we did 1/2, so we got smaller, and everything moved half as close to that center, and the figure became half the size. What we did was we took our pre-image point, we looked at what is the change to get from the center to the point. So to get from this center to A, I had to go to the right 8 and I had to go down 6. So we use those translation rules with the plussing and the minus of our x and our y. Then we multiply by that scale factor to figure out what our new change would be. And then we use that change plus 4 over or down 3 to find our new value of our point. Okay, so we're not always going to have this nice little table that walks it through. So let's look at an example where I don't have that table. We're going to dilate by r equals 4 using the center of 3, 4. And I don't have the table to kind of walk me through it, but I'm still going to do this same process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph that center, because that center is not graphed for me. So that's the first thing I want to do, is figure out exactly where that center is. My center is at the point 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is my center of dilation. Okay? All right, so then my first point is point A, and it is the point 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay? So remember, the first thing we did is we said, okay, we have our pre-image point and we need to figure out what is the change to get from the center to that point. So from the center down, I'm not having to move left or right at all. So my x change is 0. My y change, I'm having to go down 2. So my y change is a negative 2. Okay? Then remember, we're going to take that change and we're going to multiply it by the scale factor, which is 4. So I'm going to multiply my x change and my y change both by 4. When I do that, I'm going to get 0 times 4, that's still just 0, and negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8. Okay? So then what we did after we multiplied by the scale factor is we had our new change. So my new change is 0, negative 8. Then we're going to take that new change and we're going to add it to the center. So my center is the point 3, 4. My center is the point 3, 4. So I'm going to add it to 3, and I'm going to add it to 4. And that's going to give me my new image. So 0 plus 3 is 3. Negative 8 plus 4 is a negative 4. So my new point is at positive 3, negative 4. Another thing we can do is we can always look at this line here, our new change, and we can go from our center making that new change 0, and then I'm going to change by negative 8 on my y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my a prime is at the point 3, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, negative 4, a prime. Okay, let's do the the exact process for v prime. Okay, my point B right here is 1, 2, 3, 4 up 2. So B is at 4, 2. Then I want to figure out how am I changing left and right to get to B, and then how am I changing up and down to get to B. So I'm traveling to the right 1, so that's an increase of 1. And then I'm going down 1, 2. So that's minus 2. So I've got my x change and my y change. Then I'm going to multiply the change by the scale factor, which is 4. So times 4 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So there is my new change. I can use this new change if I want to with my point and say, okay, I know it's a positive 4, so I'm going to go right 4 and down 8 from my center. So right 4 and down 8. And that's going to put me right here when I go to the right 4 and down, I should have done that in orange, down 8. It's going to put me right here as my new B prime. The coordinates are, remember, all we're doing, we added it to the center, which was 3, 4. So we added it to the 3 and we added it to the 4. My 3, 4, the center. And we got that 4 plus 3 is 7. And negative 8 plus 4 is still, just like it was over here, negative 4. So my B prime is the 0.7, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's B prime. Okay? All right, the last one. That's bothering me right there. Okay, the last one, let's find C. So C is currently at 2, 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what is the change to get from my center to C. So I can see that I'm going to need to, my x is going to change by going back 1. And then I'm going to go down 1. So it's a minus 1 and a minus 1. I'm going to multiply those by the scale factor. Negative 1 times 4 is going to be a negative 4. So both times I'm going to have negative 4, negative 1 times 4, negative 4. So again, I can use that, and I can already come here and I can say from my center I'm going to go negative 4 and negative 4. That's where my C prime is going to be. To find those actual coordinates, I can just look at the graph now that I've graphed it, or I can add it. I can add these changes to my center, which is a positive 3 and a positive 4. When I add those together, negative 4 plus 3 is a negative 1. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So C prime is the point negative 1, 0. Negative 1, 0 is right where I had graphed it. C prime. So my new image is right here. A, B, C prime. A prime, B prime, C prime, I should say. Okay, and so we can see this one is going to be 4 times bigger than this one, and all of these points are 4 times as far away from the center as the original one. So I have to go 1 and then times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or here I have to go down 2, so if I go down 8 further than that. Or here I have to go across 2, so if I do that 4 times 2, 3, 4, I can see it's everything is 4 times bigger and 4 times as far away from that center. Okay, let's look at the last page. For the next video, our last video of the day, we're going to look at perimeter and how dilations affect the perimeter given a scale factor. All right, so come on back for that last video so we can talk about what happens with perimeter when we use the effect of a dilation. Thanks for watching.